BigBear.AI is down about 4% today, and even with AMD's coming in with some strong earnings, it didn't stop the tech market from selling off today. So the question is BigBear.AI building some quiet momentum or are they starting to fizzle out? Well, in today's live session in Stockmate, we got to catch some real-time moves. We even saw Supermicro Computer drop 20% at market open, which we got into. If you ever felt like unsure about AI and quantum and space stocks, or you just want more clarity like this, you can always tune on into our daily live sessions in Stockmates, get step-by-step breakdowns every morning at market open. It's the second link below, and I'll even send you a free t-shirt. Now, BigBear.AI is expected to report earnings on August 11th after market close, and we have some interesting projections, maybe projecting them to get up into about $41 million in revenue. They've had some steep drawdowns while they're up, 80% year over year. They've had different drawdowns around 40 to 50%. We've seen their revenue increasing, but here's kind of the smart play with Big Bear. They are an AI provider and they're stepping into a lot of operational decision support for mega events like the World Cup and the Olympics. And so they have this biometrics deployment into many airports here, and they're quietly positioning what could be at the heart of some mega events. They have their very scan technology here with the biometrics. They have the vein, which can deliver the real time tech solutions for crowd intelligence, for being able to deploy and find different threats in different systems. They have different AI models that they use, and it's definitely seeing some interest from TSA and even their previous CEO, Kevin McElhaney, or current CEO, excuse me, was previously in the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and U.S. Customs, which is why they're expanding. Now, could the flow of media be a big deal? Definitely, we're seeing a lot of hype articles around Big Bear. You got to watch out definitely when you see, a lot of hype every hour or so. There's an article. There's a lot riding on these earnings though. They're looking for that 50 million or 40 to 50 million dollars in revenue, and also that they're not only relying on defense or contracts from TSA, for example, for the World Cup and the Olympics, but also maybe this is what we're focusing on next is are they able to continue to build out some of those partnerships with what would be, I think it's the True Face. You got the True Face, you got the Very Scan, Pangiam threat detection. So this is kind of like TSA. You got the satellite. But one of the things we saw, for example, with the True Face or Very Scan, is they're going directly to the airport companies. So it's not just necessarily going to be only, what is at the TSA. They're also going a little bit commercial with the Very Scan. As you can see, they got partnerships with Delta. We saw them at Frontier. They got Canada Place Terminal. They're going directly to the gates, which is really interesting. So we see them get up into these levels here. That's kind of the market. They're in a growing AI market, trying to keep their revenue flowing while they have a good balance sheet with lower debt as of recently. And we're looking at this level. I think we even have some charts here that we could take a look at. We'll take a look at those levels. We started covering it back in October, November, around $1 a share, up to $10 in February, and then sold off. And then in April, started to recover as high as $8 a share by July. Now, this kind of what we've seen, this overall consolidation, you could say here, you can see these green lines here. I'll just map them out. You see the green lines. That is the consolidation here that's happening. And then they also have this trend that's been forming. It's kind of like this downtrend in a way that's in between that consolidation. But what we're really watching is this level here. It's a previous support and a previous resistance there at about $6.50. One of the key levels we were watching here was at this $7 price point yesterday. We said if they can't hold it, the next support here is about $6.50. Now they shot down today to about $6.60 and bounced back up to $6.80. They pulled back recently, and we could see that they're trying to break out of this downtrend. Now, overall direction, if we just were to get rid of most of everything and not take into account that 650 range and kind of looking at where they're at, they do have maybe what is a recovery here into these levels. We're looking for this. It's about a 27% increase back into that $8 to $9 range. Now, it could be that they don't see those levels until after earnings. A lot of investors are looking for that revenue to increase. They have a considerable amount of contracts, over 160 million right now with Army. But what we're really watching here is to see if they can continue to attach some values to the Veriscan deployments into all the airports, that there is some contract values that are reflective into these upcoming earnings. We know they rapidly expanded. And not only that, there was a really good article over inside of Stockmates from one of our members. It was Lee, who's really up to date on Big Bear, and they had mentioned that they implemented. This is from Big Bear here. Big Bear reposted this on LinkedIn. That they had implemented at 17 ports in North America, but we only saw that they officially had announced about 12. So they only announced 12, but over on LinkedIn, we found they said 17. Now the other thing is they're saying, hey, if you're an airline, if you're a company, or any airport that is looking to create a better experience around the United States citizens returning from international trips, we can help assist you with this solution here, Big Bear AI. We work here and we have our biometrics. Really interesting because a couple things that happened here. You start to see they have more contracts than what is disclosed. And then secondly, you see that they are aggressively expanding, that they're working to it. And they even talk a little bit about how they can help you to be able to install. So maybe they're not getting money direct from the airports. They are getting money as a part of what here is the big beautiful bill, that we can help secure funding for these programs. And so it's like a incentive for you to add biometrics to your airport, is that we also can make sure that you get that money here from the government. So kind of government driven. It's almost like when you have the solar boom, right? Solar was booming because a lot of states were giving huge incentives for customers, and so solar companies were selling solar like hotcakes because there's a lot of incentives for people to get it. Same thing could be true for, on a massive scale, airports. The government saying, we want to, in this case, it's not renewable energy. They're saying, we want to improve our biometrics. We want to have better entry and exits into the US, especially ahead of the World Cup and the Olympics. So we're going to incentivize all of these airports to be able to build these types of systems into their ports. And so that's really what we're seeing there. So shout out to Lee. There's some great resources there in Stockmate, guys, if you ever need it. We also have all the earnings targets, which unfortunately we were kind of correct on the low. For super microcomputer, we had an average. We're looking for a $43 price point on a target there, which it is, I think, right around there. Maybe it's a little higher than that. But I say unfortunately because we do have some positions there. Same thing with AMD. But if you ever want to get updates on exciting earnings and targets for all of them, we got some earnings today happening after hours. Ion Q, Quantum, we'll be taking a look at. Tomorrow, you got D-Wave as well as Black Sky. And we're also going to see SoundHounds, which we'll cover, as well as Rocket Lab. So if you want to stay up to date on the earnings, kind of what's going on in our daily live sessions, our next one's happening tomorrow morning. Would love to see you there. If I earned your thumbs up, smash the like button. Let me know what you think about Big Bear AI. Do you think this government contract here, this 5.4 billion, could be a big one for potentially Big Bear AI as they fit the bill for reduced reliance on manual labor? Do you think this is a contract they're gonna be getting pieces of? Do you think that the institutional buying right now, 190 increased positions versus 48 decreased positions, is good? Are we maybe going to see a bull squeeze here, or are we going to see more of a short squeeze? We continue to see that momentum kick in. Well, there's that $6.50 support, which we're watching. They weren't able to hold that $7 range. And if they break below 650, now we're targeting a much lower price here around $6 or less. But really what we'd like to see, validate above that 650, maybe the greater market recovery can see some influx of capital and see them continue to make that recovery. It's about a 26% increase to these previous levels that we'd be watching for Big Bear. So we'll keep you updated. Again, do consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Again, if I earned your thumbs up, smash the like button. Do consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.